In this verse of the Quran of Surah Tawbah, chapter number 9, verse number 24, Allah is saying, "Qul in kana aba'akum," whether it be for fathers. And you know the Quran respects the parents the highest after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah says in the Quran in Surah Isra, chapter number 17, verse number 23 and 24, "We have ordained for you that you worship but one Allah, and that you be kind to your parents." So after Allah comes the parents. That you be kind to your parents. And if one of them or both of them reach old age, do not say a word of contempt. Don't say off to them. That means one or both of your parents reach old age, whatever they say, you cannot retaliate. You can't even say off to them. So much you have to respect them. Don't say off to them, but rather address them with honor. Lower to them your wing of humility and pray to thy Lord that bless them as they cherish me in childhood. According to the verse of the Quran, respecting the parents is of utmost importance. After worshipping Allah, come respecting your parents. Allah says in Surah Nisa, chapter 4, verse number 135, "Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu," O you believe, stand out for justice as witness to the truth of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even if it be against yourself, against your parents, against your relatives, rich or poor. When it comes for standing for justice, in supporting Allah, you have to stand out for justice even if it against yourself, against your parents, mother or father, against your relatives, whether it be your son, whether it be your brothers, whether it be your spouses, whether it be rich or poor. Allah protects all. So here Allah is telling us that you love your parents, yes, but when it comes to justice, even if it goes against yourself, against your parents, against your relatives, you have to stand out for justice that's true to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah is repeating the same thing. "Qul in kana aba'akum wa abna'akum wa ikhwanukum wa azwajukum wa ashiratukum." Say whether it be for your fathers, or for your sons, or for your brothers, or for your spouses, wives and husbands, or for your relatives. And Allah continues, "Wa amwalun iktaraftumuha," and the wealth that you have amassed. Allah says in Surah Baqarah, chapter number 2, verse number 261, that the parable of those who spend their way in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the parable of those who spend in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is like a grain of corn. And that corn becomes 7 years, each year bearing 100 corns. That means that one grain becomes 700 grains. Allah says, if you spend in the way of Allah, Allah will give you 700 times profit. In business terminology, 70,000% profit. If you spend in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah promises you 70,000% profit, 700 times profit. And Allah continues, Allah will give you much more. That means minimum profit Allah has guaranteed you if you spend in the way of Allah is 70,000%, 700 times profit. Less customers,